This episode of the We Like Shooting Show is brought to you by Second Call Defense, Manticore Arms, the Sonoran Desert Institute, Facts and Firearms, the Patriot Patch Company, and Brownells. Hello,
welcome to the We Like Shooting Show, episode 306. Tonight we're going to talk about so many things. We're going to talk about the mother effing Yeet Cannon. We're going to talk about the Russian Lebedev, the Rutledge Boar, the Poors Project Keltec P11 Edition, Diana Muller, and more. Our panel tonight is River's Edge Tactical's Jeremy Posderick. We've got the Machine Gun Moses, Aaron Krieger's here. The Bitcher of Bakersfield, Nick Lynch. Savage 1R is with us. My name is Sean Aaron, and oh my God, this is already a disaster. Like, how come none of the things are working? I don't know. This is... Aaron, how are you?
I'm awesome as always. Still slightly... I still miss my beard, though.
Yeah, we all miss your beard.
That was definitely a mistake last show.
It really was, because...
there's a reason that we grow these.
Yeah, if Savage looks like a thumb, you look like a big toe.
I just wish Savage would grow one.
Yeah. Savage, can you grow a beard?
Yeah,
please.
Savage.
Maybe.
We're tired of seeing you, man.
Yeah.
Can you hide it?
It's so bad.
Do it. Oh, my God, do it, please. Do it.
Please.
Do it. Do it.
All right. All right. I love it. Let's go ahead and get into it. And let's talk about Manticore Arms. A couple things. First off, the Transformer Rail is awesome. Been talking about that quite a bit lately. I just got a 9-inch in the other day. Going to use that. Wait a minute. No one's laughing at a 9-inch.
Where'd you get it in, son?
Oh, God. All right. But it is a rail for your AR-15s. They also make stuff for your AK-47s, AK-74s. They make stuff for the Brin. They make stuff for the Tavor, the X95, AKs, all kinds of stuff. It's all available. ManticoreArms.com. Please use coupon code WLS10 to get 10% off all day, every day. And let's get back into the show before things go even worse.
We get it, Aaron. You vape.
What? Yes, I do.
Yeah, you do. We all know that. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but we have a drinking game, which clearly we are going to need tonight. But it's basically anytime one of us says the following things, you take a drink. Clearly do it safely, not while you're driving, anything like that.
And if you are driving, pull over to drink, and then you can start back up again.
Is it irresponsible for us to have a drinking game, considering that like 70% of all podcasts are consumed while in a vehicle?
No.
Okay.
No.
I didn't think so either.
The passenger can drink, right?
I think so. Anyway, every time that I say interesting, so basically nicer.
Or I
game,
interrupt somebody.
Every time Aaron says vicarious, suggests that registration does not lead to confiscation or interrupt somebody. Every time that Jeremy says kill yourself, call Savage a commie, or sniffle, spits, or hate breathes into the mic.
Or interrupt somebody.
Every time Nick says something insightful, says something no one laughs at, or talks about butt issues.
Or interrupt somebody.
Or every time that Savage mentions Reddit, mispronounces a sponsor, Washington, or a gun of the Poors, you should take a drink. I can no longer fade any of the audio, so here's a hard cut. Congratulations.
All of our listeners, or half of our listeners, are dead now because Aaron kept interrupting.
Yes.
Shots.
It was
shots.
And my segment tonight is going to kill the rest of them.
Yes, it is.
Oh, God.
I know. Just don't get him started. All right, here we go. Let's introduce our guest. She is a retired police officer, world and national champion shooter, and founder of the Ambassador Academy and DC Project. Please welcome Diana Muller.
Woo!
There's the
What happened to the studio audience?
Welcome, Diana. How are you?
I'm great. A little warm, and I've formed an opinion on whether I'm going to stay the whole 2 hours. And I'm out.
I support it.
Aww.
That's how we feel every show. So don't even. It's not even. You're not alone.
She means she's out now.
It's understandable.
Alicia.
So Diana, let's start at the beginning of that bio there. Police officer. How'd you get into that?
My father was a Missouri State Highway Patrolman, and for a little while before he went into insurance. And then, so I always saw a picture of him. I never knew him as a police officer, but I saw a picture of him in uniform, and that maybe had a little bit of effect on me. And then his insurance office was across the street from the police department, and he always had a heart for it. So I think that it just kind of fell into, that's what I fell into as well.
Nice. How long did you do that?
22 years in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
No kidding.
Wow.
22 years. Jeez.
Wow. So you started when you were 10?
I color my
Perfect. So, I mean, that's a good way. Did you get into guns like before that, or was that kind of just something that happened along the way?
No, my father's had guns around my entire life that I can remember. And when I was, I can't remember when the first time I shot was. But when I was 15 and 16 years old, I spent my birthday in the November 23rd area in a deer stand. And for a self-diagnosed ADHD kid and didn't like the cold, I was pretty miserable. And then I killed my first deer, and then her fawn comes, and I was like, I killed Bambi's mom. And so from then, my dad and I turned our attention towards shooting paper and steel, and it kind of stuck.
I love it. And also, I always wondered who killed Bambi's mom. Now we know.
It's me.
It was you. So when did competition shooting come?
Right after that, like when I was 16. We literally started, going to matches from North Central Missouri. So Barry, Illinois, where Paso Park is, if people are familiar with that. We started going over there on a regular basis. It was just a hobby. So I did that. But we when I was growing up, I barrel raced and did horse shows and stuff like that. So it was kind of divided attention, honestly. Makes
a lot of sense. Obviously, it takes a lot of time. Tell us about some of your first competitions.
They were just fun. I mean, we were just doing it as a hobby. It's something my dad and I got to hang out with. And, I was a girl, so it was kind of because if you ever go to a match, bowling pins or something like that you're going head to head, you put a 16, 17-year-old girl in front of these guys and they lose their mind. So that was always fun.
That's awesome. When did you realize that you had something going on with that? Clearly you're a good shooter, world and national champion. When did you kind of realize that, hey, this might be something that I pursue?
I didn't. I went off on my own. I went to Tulsa, moved to Tulsa, and became a police officer, pursued the barrel racing. So for about the first 18 years of my adult life on my own, I barrel raced and lived in a barn. And it wasn't until 2008 that Tulsa, Oklahoma built a really nice range, U.S. Shooting Academy. And I kind of forced myself to go back to some pistol competitions just to stay behind the gun for my job. And from there, I fell in love with the people, and just slowly between 2008, 2009, I found 3-gun. Oh my gosh, so much fun. And I haven't ever looked back. So by 2011, I have completely sold my farm, sold my horses, sold my tractor, truck, trailer, moved to town, and started shooting almost full time with a job of, still with a full-time job.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah. Well, it was almost like having 2 jobs there for a little while. But then that's when I started realizing I got sponsored in 2009, 2010. And I started shooting so much that I was like, okay, I'm really giving these guys a really good return on their investment for me. And I just started doing it more and more and more. So 2014, I retired from the police department and really jumped into the space full time.
Now, when you decided to jump in full time, was there ever a time that you got discouraged, or were you just kind of kicking butt from the get go?
No, I had been kicking butt for quite a while I still have my full time job. So. It really just, it enabled me to focus. It enabled me to do even more with what I was doing. And my husband, I got married, and my husband joined me, and we basically travel and compete and teach. And we'll talk about the Second Amendment advocacy that kind of came surprisingly, but I'm a reluctant Second Amendment advocate for sure.
When you say reluctant, what do you mean?
I just didn't expect to. I mean, I've never had any interest in politics, and I just have been paying attention more. I think as you grow older, you pay attention to what's going on and all the misinformation about guns and gun owners. And I was a little frustrated So 2015, my husband and I, and then the Mitchellicks, if you know that name.
Oh, sure.
No, never heard of her.
He's kind of okay shooter. He and Lena and me and Ryan were on the East Coast, and we had 2 bookend weeks that we were shooting out there. So we went to DC to do some tourist stuff, and a friend of mine said, "Hey, do you want to meet your congressman?" And I was like, how much I care. I guess so. That's what you do when you're in Washington, D.C., is you meet your congressman. But it was during that meeting I was like, hey, there's a lot of misinformation going on around here, and these people are enacting laws that are affecting us. Is there something that we should be doing as professional shooters? And he's like, that's a good idea, and I think that you should, you probably should just go to the antis. And I thought, well, the people who do support us need to know that we exist as well. So from there, I started gathering. My husband and I went back on another trip, and it was really hard to get him as excited as I was. I was like, oh my gosh, that's the Supreme Court. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And so then it kind of turned my attention towards women. And I was like, you know what? Women can have a stronger voice when it comes to the Second Amendment, because it's not, your redneck, toothless, shirtless. It was basically my husband. He has teeth though, but the stereotype.
Jeremy is the stereotype.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen here.
Exactly.
So I started turning my focus towards women, and there's obviously not 50 professional women in 50 different states. I knew I couldn't go into California because she has no reason to listen to me. I don't live there. So I started gathering these women, and it just turned out to be so much more than I originally thought, because it didn't work out like I wanted it to. I thought it was going to be professional shooters, and it turned out to be so much more. We have like Gabby Franco, although she is a shooter, she's a Venezuelan immigrant. She's seen her country lose their gun rights and go down in flames. So she has a great story. We've got Nikki Gozier, who was in a gun-free zone, left her gun in the car, and her stalker shot her husband in front of her and killed him. We've got another lady who from Illinois in Suburbanville, and was a victim of a home invasion, a stranger home invasion, which doesn't happen all that often, but it does happen. So she goes with us. She was stabbed 17 times. She was raped. Ooh. She was beaten. She was left for dead. And I'm going to put her in front of Dianne Feinstein and say, you tell this woman that she can't protect herself.
Was that Melissa?
So say again.
Was that Melissa?
Yes.
Okay. I know Melissa. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got those powerful stories. And then we have people like me, LEOs, and people who are doing it for sport, people who are doing it for hunting. So we've got an array of people that speak on behalf of the Second Amendment. It's
so awesome. And you said it didn't kind of go the way you wanted, but I assume it's better.
I think it's better, and I think it's more effective the way that we're doing it. And we kind of treat it when we go to D.C. We're going to D.C. next week. So next Monday, I head to D.C. Next Tuesday, everybody comes in, and we have a reception on Tuesday night, and that's really the only time that we're together until Friday. We break up into small groups. We go to meetings with our legislators, and we're just wanting to shake their hands and say, hey, I'm a gun owner. This is our story. And kind of, how we get demonized, it kind of makes us more personal. And even if they don't agree with us and they hate us, then that's on them.
And you're all stupid.
And that's what.
Hey, and you know what? I have left-leaning people in my group, so I've learned to not say libtard.
Good.
And yeah, I've learned to try to not divide people. So yeah. Hard is one of those words.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Now, kind of getting into the psychology behind this. I mean, having women show up and be like, look, we're here, we're gun owners, we're Second Amendment people. Do you think that well, let me rephrase that. I think that's extremely powerful, especially to politicians who generally want to think of people like, us, like fat white guys and things like that.
Right.
Do you think that it really gives you guys a lot more power in those kind of meets and greets?
I would think so. I mean, I haven't just come out and said that, but it's really difficult to argue with a woman like Melissa who's been victimized or any, especially when they, all this female rights and women's rights and feminism and stuff. It blows my mind. These people who put pink hats on and go to DC in March, they can't figure out that a gun is the ultimate equalizer. I mean,
yeah,
it's crazy.
It really is. It really is. And I've often said that, and we don't need to convince people that guns are the greatest thing in the universe as far as it comes. We just need to convince people that their life is important and that no one else is going to save them. They'll come to the gun argument on their own once they realize that they're out there alone in the cold, dark night and there's no one else going to be there. Once you do that.
I think that's the problem, is that people don't understand that evil exists because it hasn't touched them personally. And being a police officer for 22 years, I know exactly how long it takes me to get a 911 call, how long it takes me to get to your house. So I was a policeman and I had a friend on the other end of the radio, and there were times that I was toe to toe with evil standing there by myself. And it's a really ugly feeling. Now, not having a firearm, I cannot imagine not having a firearm, that I felt at least I had a chance. So I don't want anybody to have to feel vulnerable and like they don't have a chance.
Nice. That's awesome. So DC Project is a pretty great thing. What do you see for the future of the DC Project?
The future of the DC Project, I think I'm ready to break it down into the state level. I'm missing a few states still, but I'm going to talk to my ladies this trip about going back to their home states, because there's so much stuff going on at the state level that really the federal level, we've kind of got tamped down, especially with Trump in office, that I think it's important. And I feel like we're a little late, honestly, but I feel like it's important that we go back to the states and do a little mini DC project within the state. So I'm going to ask my girls to be team leaders, state leaders, and create their own little project within their state and go shake their state legislators' hands and do that.
What kind of message have you seen be successful? So being strong women, being gun owners, and then now talking to politicians and things like that. I think you can probably see, their facial expressions and things as you're speaking to them about different stuff. What are the things that you think resonate most with the people who might be anti-gun and be politicians? What stories have seemed to resonate the most with them?
Well, I honestly, I've had a pretty easy time of it because I'm from Oklahoma, so my legislators are pretty conservative for the most part, and I haven't had to go into like Dick Durbin's office. I know he was pretty ugly to our girls, and another one from, I think, Tennessee made one of my girls cry last year. And so we have had some very and that guy actually called her back and apologized after I think he figured out who she was. She was the judge's daughter. But it's just the way people act and the way people treat people. It's just amazing. And I would say, I don't want to go down the division, but I really feel like, especially like Antifa, I mean, all this left-leaning stuff, they're so violent and they're so hateful and they're so rude. And when you say that to the left, they're like, oh, well, yeah, it comes from the right too. And I'm like, no, really, it doesn't. It may, but your KKK rally was 5 people. Woo!
Get down. Yeah. There is a lot of that out there, and it is pretty sad. For people that want to get involved with the DC Project, like Nick, I know he's definitely interested. How would they do that? How do they get involved, and what aspects can people actually get involved to kind of help with the mission you guys are doing?
Well, first of all, the DC Project has found we're actually a 501c4. I went ahead and did that this year. So we're a legitimate nonprofit, but C4 means that it's not tax deductible for the contributor. So obviously money goes a long way when it comes to, let's say, an email from Texas, and you know how Texas is turning into, especially Austin, the Austin area is just turning its back on the Second Amendment. But I would like to be able to have enough money to say, hey, girls in Texas, here's some money to make sure you get there, make sure you look, just do some kind of presence, have a presence there. So that's big picture and why I would need money. So let me back up. So dcproject.info is our website. And people can donate there, and people can watch us and track us there. There's a really cool video on the first year that we went. But on Friday, next Friday, if anybody in your audience is in the Virginia or DC area, we have a rally on Capitol Lawn. So 2 p.m. on Friday, we'll be on the West Lawn, which is the big one on the west side between the National Mall and the Capitol, and great pictures. And we have a very respectable, it's not a pink hat wearing, nasty protest or anything like that. We just have speakers, and we make some signs, and there's some guys called the Patriot Pickers that are there with their big signs. And so that's open to anybody, and we welcome anybody to come out to the rally in Washington, D.C. And this year we also had a team match. Have you guys ever shot a team match?
I have not.
3-gun, 3-man, 2-gun. We had a 2-man, 3-gun match. And that was a couple of weeks ago at Rebel Peak Ranch in Texas. So if they want to participate or support the cause, they can come out and have a great time. We have a lot of smiles after that match, and team stuff is just so much fun. You guys would have a blast.
So we've had a couple team matches here in Colorado Springs where I'm at, but I have not made it to one yet.
I would highly suggest it. They're great.
Only if I can be on you and Jerry's team.
Okay, well.
The last time I took Aaron to a 3-gun match, he DQ'd.
Jeez.
It was because the stupid guy was racist.
Oh, that's great. That's
I'm playing the race card all day today.
I know, apparently.
You got a full deck there, buddy.
Right?
It's so good. But yeah, dcproject.info. Now, Diana, you mentioned earlier when you were talking about 3-gun, you're like, hey, I'm getting these guys a lot of return on that investment. And I think that really leads me to a lot of the questions that I have for you with the Ambassador Academy. And what is that?
So the whole time that I was starting this, early on, I got in with Michael Bain. I was on TV doing these TV pieces, and I was like, I really suck, Michael. I want to get better. And he's like, oh, no, you'll figure it out. You're doing great. And I was like, oh, please just help me get And there's no kind of training to help me with that I knew of in our space. I'm sure there's journalism school and theater and stuff like that. But between social media driving me crazy that I don't know how it functions and how to best strategize or best hashtag, all these things that were in my world that would give my partners a better return. There wasn't any training. So I've been chewing on this for like 3 or 4 years, and I kept complaining about it. And then finally this year I was like, screw it. I'm just going to hire all these subject matter experts and advertise it as a class and see if there are people who want it as much as I did. So we had the first ever Ambassador Academy come. It was March, right before USPSA Multi-Gun National. And we had a professional shooter, a professional photographer. We had TJ from Tactical taught social media. I made it PG-13 and because we had some kids there. And then we had a couple of people with media that were actually, we did interviews. We did hostile communication interviews, like you would talk to, a hostile interviewer. So we did a lot of that training. It was 5 days. We also did some personal protection. The place that we were at is a private range. I call it Tactical Disneyland because it's outside of Orlando, Florida.
Nice.
And and he's built for more of concealed carry, scenario-based training. And I thought, hey, if we're going to be at his house, if we're going to be at his place, there's no reason not to take advantage of that. So we had everybody loved it. Everybody really good, positive feedback on everything. But, being able to train with a flashlight and low light and then do some force-on-force stuff really kind of gelled everybody from the beginning.
Makes a lot of sense. And I think that's something a lot of people struggle with. They can be good shooters, they can be good advocates, but to really put it all together into one package is kind of the gold standard, right?
Yeah, well, I hope it is. I think we've been in kind of a hobby for so long and an ad hoc, semi-pro type atmosphere that I think that there's really something, especially I hope these companies realize we had a professional photographer too. So the images that your companies get from the Ambassador Academy is worth the price of admission. So you know how much a stinking photo shoot costs. The Ambassador Academy is like $3,500, and it's 5 days of intense training.
That's actually very cool. And they can find out all about that at your website, pro3gunner.com, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's all awesome stuff. So let's talk a little bit about 3-Gun. So Pro 3-Gunner, world and national champion. Do you still shoot as much as you have been or more?
This year, I bit off a little more than you with, the first ever Ambassador Academy, and then putting on that the DC Project team match that I was telling you about a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And then the actual trip to DC, the first six months of my life have been a little bit different. So I shot a USPSA pistol match last Friday, and that was the 4th match I've shot all year. And so it is taking a toll on my shooting, but I feel like my partners and people who are paying me to do this are actually getting a better return on their money, because I'm not shooting the same match with the same people 12 times a year. I'm actually getting in front of different audiences and giving them a little bit better return on investment.
No, it makes a lot of sense. So how do you keep up with your practice since you haven't been shooting as many matches?
You go to matches.
Right, exactly. But you're not, you just said you haven't been doing as many. Are you doing dry fire, or are you just... No, I sit in front of a computer like a slave. I mean, seriously, the entire team match that we raised $20,000, and I'm really, really excited about that. But I could have gone down to Burger King and flipped burgers for as much time as I had that $20,000. No doubt. That's terrible, but also kind of hilarious.
Only if it's $15 an hour.
Right. Which it will be, but they're going to replace you with a kiosk in a month.
Yeah.
But let's see.
Have I put everybody to sleep yet?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
They're all they're all dead inside.
I'm drowsing off.
Says the Marine. Let's see. Last year you shot a lot more matches. Let's talk about some of the successes that you've had. National and world champ. Let's talk about those. So world, where was it? What'd you do? How'd you prep?
Okay, so IPSC IPSC has world matches every 3 years. So that's kind of like our Olympics. And this year is a rifle world match. So people are kind of gearing up and heading over in August. They're going to go to Sweden. Well, last year there was a shotgun match, and it was in France. And that's where, me, Lena, Becky Ackley, and Katie Francis were all on a team, the ladies' team. And we took gold, and then Lena took gold in the individual, and I took silver in the individual. So it's really a really cool experience to be on stage and hear your national anthem, and that's as close to the Olympics as we're going to get. So I actually tried to talk to the IPSC people, like the president and the secretary, and I was like, how, we've got guns in the Olympics. How are we going to get, let's just take this to the Olympics. And so they're working on it. I don't know exactly where it stands, but I think that would be super cool to actually get the shotgun shooting sports, the action shooting sports, into the Olympics.
Yeah, I completely 100% agree. We see so many women coming into competition and Second Amendment advocacy even and everything these days. I think it's really huge, but I always have to ask, when we have strong women in the industry on the show, how has it been for you to get into the gun industry? You've been doing it for a while, clearly well respected. But how was it to kind of break in as a female?
Coming from a very male-dominated career, I didn't have any issues with it at all. Whereas somebody who didn't have that experience might have a little bit different feeling about it. So it didn't bother me whatsoever. But I'll tell you this, it's surprising, especially in 3-gun, because 3-gun's pretty intense. 3-gun, there's 3 different platforms, there's a lot going on, and the amount of women who come and shoot without their husband just floors me. I'm like, and then there's some husbands that just come and they hang out. And I'm just like, this is so awesome that you guys want to do the sport so much that you're willing to do it on your own or just be the lead in it. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Let's talk just a little bit about the internet. So clearly Ambassador Academy, you had TJ Kurgan from Tactical being the guy to talk about social media. But as far
Don't hold that against me.
I was just at a place where he was doing a talk on PR, but really all he did was tell the story about how what was it? I don't even remember. It was the most recent controversy he was embroiled in. He told the whole story of that, which I found.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Because it was right before the Ambassador Academy, and people were like, you're going to hire him, you should fire him, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I can't. It's like next week. So I went with it. It's so funny because everybody loved him. I mean, I was in there for a little bit, and I can remember like one time he opens his phone up and he's like doing a demonstration, like, here's how you do it. And there's this German Shepherd that has a downstairs. I can't say that right, but he's chewing on this. And we've got like 16, 14-year-old kid in there. And I'm pretty sure that that's the first time he's ever seen that. And I'm just like, I can't believe you did it. And then he makes fun of it. And then he's like, oh yeah, let's do it with this video here. And this is how you share, blah, blah, blah. He was doing his whole thing on this. I was just appalled. I'm over in the corner going, nobody's ever coming back, blah, blah, blah. Well, fast forward to the end of the deal, everybody loved TJ. And I was like, I went to him, I was like, I really hate that you did a good job because now I have to hire you again.
Yes.
I mean, 15 and 16-year-olds have the internet, so they've probably seen worse stuff than most of us have.
Yeah, that was like...
Yeah, it's not being 14 and finding like a dirty rain-soaked Playboy in the fucking woods. It's hardcore porn at like 12.
Well, these kids are pretty outdoorsy and pretty conservative.
You say that.
I say that, and I could be wrong, but the looks on their faces just trust me that they were shocked.
They were just shocked because they're like, wow, did he get that off my social media?
Yeah. Mom, Dad, this is shocking. I have never seen this before.
This is terrible. Why would Diana Muller do this to us?
Yeah.
No.
I love it. Let's talk about know-it-alls on the internet because clearly you're sitting here with 5 of them. But every time.
But I do know a lot.
I mean, yeah, you do. You know some stuff. As a 3-gunner. Go ahead, Jeremy. Take over.
What
were you going to say?
I said, but I do know a lot. That's all I want to do. So just interjecting. I'm just trying to ruin the flow of the show.
You want somebody to drink?
Yeah, drink, Jeremy.
No, that's when Aaron interrupts people.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
I don't ever interrupt anyone.
That's so true.
Never.
Let's talk about.
I haven't told anybody to kill themselves yet.
Not yet. The night is young. So know-it-alls on the internet because you are female, you're in the public eye, you're a competition shooter. Everyone probably wants to, sit you down and be like, hey, sweetheart, this is the thing that you need to do better. How have you combated that in your career?
Honestly, I don't ever really. I mean, I use the social media, but I don't surf the social media. So, well, I'll give you an example of some hate mail I got. So when the Ambassador Academy came out, there were some people I think they were in USPSA that didn't know who I was, and they were calling me. They were pretty horrible people. And I engaged with one of them and basically was like, he goes, who do you think you are? And these are going to give you money, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't care who you think I am. I know who I am. I know what I'm providing. And you don't even know anything about the class. So go sit in your mom's basement with Aaron. I mean, geez.
I have my own basement.
He's like, Mom, meatloaf.
Why did I get picked for that one?
Well, because
I wish that the people, the know-it-alls and the haters online, I really wish that we didn't kind of eat our own because people do have negative experiences with that. And my whole deal is trying to grow our base and make people think that we are who I experience, the people I fell in love with when it comes to the shooting sports. So that's the experience I want other people to have. So when you see people online bashing somebody, or, even like if we were out in public, I would tell you guys to stop cussing because my parents are downstairs. So I want us to be good people.
Okay, well, you are on the show with the absolute worst people in the whole gun industry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think I've ever shown a video of a German Shepherd chewing on a to a bunch of 15-year-olds.
Nick, that was you in the video.
Maybe, no, she said German Shepherd. But maybe second worst. There is a video of me out there, with the
tactical dong, yeah.
Yeah.
There is. Her parents are downstairs. Be quiet.
Shh.
Yeah.
I don't even realize when I'm swearing anymore.
I usually I give a quarterly report to my partners so they know what I've been doing and where they get exposure. I'm not going to mention any of my partners on this one.
It's a good call. It's a good call.
The one wise decision you made since coming on.
Although we've got some huge companies that advertise on this show. They love it. Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Hey,
to go back. Go ahead.
Speaking of Brownells, have you guys heard of Maj Toure?
Yes.
He's been on the show.
Yeah, he's been on a couple times.
Yeah. I threatened to wash his mouth out with soap too.
Yeah, so I do another show on the Firearms Radio Network called This Week in Guns, and we don't cuss on that show unless you're Maj Toure, and then you cuss every other word for an hour and a half.
I was not allowed back on that show after one time.
Yes. But that was actually before I owned the Firearms Radio Network, and since I have, you haven't been allowed on the show once.
I mean, at least you got to be on there once.
I get invited onto other people's podcasts one time.
Yep, it's so true.
Ryan Machad from Handgun, or the Reloading podcast, right?
No, Handgun Radio.
Handgun Radio. He invited me on one time, and he's like, that is the most expensive editing I ever
Well, hey, guys, the Firearms Radio Network is different now. If there's a cuss word every now and then, it's fine. It's okay. I don't mind. It's good.
Sweet.
Diana.
Yeah. Hey.
Shut up, Boomer.
He's doing some really good work, and Brownells supports him as well. So
yeah.
I think that, honestly, I'm going to give you guys a quiz since there's so many of you. What percentage of gun owners do you think or know is involved in some sort of NRA, NRGA, any kind of Second Amendment organization? What percent?
Beep, beep, beep. I rang in first, guys. The answer is
go ahead.
False.
No, wrong.
I'm going to say about 12%.
I'm going to say
$1, Bob.
I'm going to say 8%, and I'm guessing kind of high.
Wait, define involve, give money or actually do stuff.
And you can't wait. Hang on, before she answers that, Sean, you can't be 8%, but I'm guessing high. You got to guess what you guess.
8%.
You just built your huge buffer system in there. She can go 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You'd be I knew it was low.
Well, look, there's 5 million members of the NRA. There's a little bit over 30 million gun owners in the United States, according to the statistics.
30 million? What?
He's trying to do math.
Right.
Do the math.
So,
do the math.
I just did. I said 8%.
Look,
There's 90 plus million gun owners.
There's 90 million plus. Well, there's a lot more guns than that, but I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, Diana, what's the number?
It's false.
5 to 6%.
Oh, wow. Sean was right. He said 8, but he said he guessed. He's guessing over.
Yeah.
When Aaron gets mad because you play by Aaron
Public
rules.
school system.
Yes.
No, but I think that's crazy, and I kind of blame us as conservatives because we're okay, I want to live my life, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and then you do what you want to do. But we have to kind of wake up and realize that how did AOC get elected? I mean, how is this possible?
Free communists.
Oh my gosh, and
So Jared.
Omar Khan. I mean, how
I know.
we're gonna have to do something about getting involved.
Yeah, it is really. It's sad, and it really makes us mad. And we talk about this on this show pretty often, that people get on the internet and they just, spew rhetoric and click on stupid little useless online polls and sit on their couches and then about when nobody else is doing the things that they need to be out doing themselves. And I always say advocacy, lobbying, and litigation are the three facets, and we are failing so badly on the advocacy and activism part because everyone thinks that someone else is going to do it. Oh, the NRA does not do enough for us. The NRA, they're not out there fighting the fight, and there's no one else is doing anything for us, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, get off your lazy asses and go do it yourself, because guess what? The reason you carry a gun is because the cops aren't going to come take care of you. They're going to investigate your murder. And it's the same thing with this.
Right.
If you're not out there fighting personally and individually, no one else is going to do it for you.
So, Sean, you're totally wrong, though, because lots of people sign online petitions, too.
Yeah, and it's useless, and it's a waste of time, and they need to stop. And
I'm just waiting for the boogaloo.
Dude, I've been sending thoughts and prayers for a long time. You tell me that doesn't work either?
It
So that's what I hope that, the DC Project, any of your audience members realizes that they can go down and to their state legislator or even to their federal legislators' offices that are, they have offices in the state, so that they represent. So it's easy enough to call them and get an appointment. You might meet with a staffer, you might meet with her, but just be seen. Heard. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be ugly. You don't have to stand and go to a rally, but that would be great. But you just have to be heard. And so that's what I would challenge all of your audience members to do, is to just go knock on their door and say hi.
Yeah.
I do have a quick question. You said we don't have to be ugly, but is it okay if we are?
Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend.
I meant on the inside, but
also ugly on the inside.
But
God, we got it covered both ways. We're like butter.
Ugly on the outside. Okay.
And inside. We're like that black tooth that one guy has. It's just bad. Oh my God. And it probably hurts too. But yeah.
Look, stop talking about my meth dealer like that.
And yet there we are.
Yeah, there it is. It's right out in front. You can't miss it.
It's so bad. But yeah, you're right. It is up to individuals. It is up to people. And DC Project is just another great aspect to do that. I think there's lots of great women's organizations out there. And, we live in a world where things are, split up by different beliefs and creeds and sexes sometimes. And I think the more groups that we have, the more people that are comfortable getting involved, the better off we are. Like, I don't care if it's a women's group, a LGBTQ group, whatever it happens to be. Like, people that I was at Kevin Dixie's event in St. Louis, Missouri, not too long ago, the No Other Choice Firearms Training Train and Learn event, and there was a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Say again.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it was really good. There was a bunch of people that I never had met at events we go to, because we always end up rolling in the same circles that we always do. So it was really good to get out there and see that there's a bunch of people from different backgrounds and different worlds and different places, but all of us were all about, firearms. All of us were about the Second Amendment and freedom. And it's so good to get out of your echo chamber, I think. And whatever that happens to be, I think it's great.
I concur.
You mentioned Michael Bain earlier. Do you ever just hang out with Michael Bain and be like, your life is so much more interesting than mine, and I don't feel like I'm a full and valid human being when I'm around him?
So you have hung out with Michael.
Yeah.
It's so unassuming. It's like, dude, you're old, you're overweight. What? And then he just starts telling these stories, and you're like, what? You've done what? You did the whitewater rafting? What? You got books? Yeah.
I know. It's
wait, Michael Bain from Terminator movies?
No, not Bain.
No, Michael Bay.
No, not the lens flare Transformer guy.
Or it was Michael Biehn.
No, Michael Bain. You uncultured swine.
Wait, Michael Bain. the guy who fights Batman, right?
No, you already did that one.
No. I did Terminator.
What?
He's the one who came back for Sarah Connor, the actual actor's name.
Get out of here.
No.
Get out of here.
I was like, no, it was Kyle Reese.
Right, yeah, but the actor who played
now
him
I
was
got
Michael
you.
Bain.
I am so
He was
uninterested.
also in Aliens, by the way.
That's great. All right.
Game over, man. Game over.
No, that's Bill
that wasn't
Paxton.
him. That was Hudson.
I know.
not Hicks.
I know it wasn't.
Yeah.
Dan-
But you know what? Hudson got killed by the Terminator, Alien, and one other one. The Predator. He got killed by all the big three.
That's great. I'm so interested in this.
Okay.
Well, it's a good thing that Michael Caine hasn't been killed by anybody yet, because he is a firearms treasure.
He really is. I do want to ask this. I always ask when we have women on the industry, and I'll just basically start with my opinion. I think that the sex culture in the firearms industry is extremely damaging. I think it's damaging to women who take the firearms industry seriously. And I'll use the term gun bunnies. I think that there's people who get out there and they're not part of the industry. They just see it as a marketing opportunity. And I want to know, what are your thoughts on, and for lack of a better term, gun bunny culture, and whether it is damaging or whether I'm just being stupid?
I obviously don't condone the sex sells things. I understand that it does, so I understand why companies use it, and to each their own. But if I want to be the example that I would want other people to emulate, so I try to keep my clothes on. My
Wait a second.
We're not supposed to talk about that.
I'll let it slide. Never mind.
Thank you. And just be an example for young girls that are coming up. And so to each their own. I don't like. Here's what it does. Here's what it does for other women. Like if they see somebody that's doing the gun bunny, showing everything that they got. Men, if we want more men to come into our shooting sports or our arena, their wives are going to be jealous. If we have more women come in, they're gonna be intimidated by just the nature of oh, she's got no clothes on, she looks better than me, she looks worse than me, whatever it may be. They're making judgments on. It just makes people uncomfortable. So whereas it gets eyeballs. So it's a good and a bad thing. So
Yeah.
in my opinion, it does hurt our industry and those companies, but. Those are if you look at all the gun bunnies, they got a hell of a lot more social media followers than I do, which translates into sponsorship. So, it's a double-edged sword for me. I mean, I'm 50. There's not a whole lot of people that really want to see.
I don't know.
That's where you're wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jeremy.
Just remember, no matter what you are somebody's fetish.
Oh,
I love it.
I know I'm Jeremy's fetish.
Probably.
I'm worried.
Yeah, we all are. Don't worry. Diana, it has been an absolute pleasure. We get to see you a few times a year at all the events that we go to that you're also at. And you're always a class act, and we truly, truly appreciate you, getting down in the gutter with us for a little while and spending some time here.
Well, it's been my pleasure. It's, yeah.
Where can people find everything that you're up to online and everywhere else?
They can find me at on Facebook is Diana Muller 3Gun, and then on Instagram it's Die 3Gun. We've also got a DC Project Foundation page on Instagram, and it's DC Project, the DC Project on Facebook. We've got a page match. I mean, see, this is why I go crazy, is because I've got all this stuff, and then I'm supposed to manage all this stuff. And if I didn't have really good girls to help me, I would go crazier than I am now. But yeah, you can find me. If you want to find me, you can find me. Aaron, I'm off limit.
Wait, what'd you guys say about me?
You got creepy raper face, dude.
Sorry, man. It's just
What did you actually say about me?
no. We didn't say anything. We didn't prep her at all.
I think you did prep her.
She was a policewoman. She knows how to pick people like you out.
It's so good. Thank you, Diana Muller. We really appreciate it. And next time we see you at the Hyperfire booth, if you totally want to pretend like you don't know us, it's fine.
No, come by. Yes, come by and see us.
All right. We'll talk to you next time, and thanks again for being here.
All right, thanks a bunch, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Aaron considers Rohypnol prepping.
Yeah.
Let's real quick talk about second call defense.
Now, for our defensive gun use of the week, sponsored by Second Call Defense, offering you complete protection for armed self-defense.
All right, so Second Call Defense. Nick, we just posted a post today. What was that about?
Yes, we did. This guy went into somebody's house, this convicted felon.
You could just say you don't know.
Went into these people's house and pulled out a gun and was like, "Give me your truck keys." And they were like, "What?" And he was like, "I do it or else." And then somebody else that was in the house came out with a gun and shot the dude in the neck.
Why the neck?
Because that's where they got him, I guess.
I mean, there's two really big arteries there.
Right, but
I don't think they were aiming for it. I think they just shot. And,
were they?
I don't know.
You kind of want to aim
because the way the article's written, he was running up the stairs and they were running down the stairs. So
it's like jousting.
I kind of assume that if you're running downstairs at someone, it's probably not super easy to aim that precisely.
You know what? I just saw this movie called Big Kill. Have you seen that? It's on Netflix.
Is this relevant to our?
It is actually. Okay. There's a gunfight at the end where they're basically like 7 feet apart from each other, and they both like unload their revolvers, and they miss every time. So it's kind of like that kind of thing, sounding like.
All right, that's fair. But yeah, so this article, it's exactly that. I mean, we talk about this all the freaking time. Like, what happens after you pull the trigger, after the smoke clears? We had our special episode with MJ, who literally the weekend after I went to Kevin Dixie's event had to use his firearm in lethal self-defense. And just talking about that, it's scary. He said he was scared the whole time, didn't know what was going to happen, wasn't prepared. And that's why Second Call Defense exists. We never know when we're going to walk to the other side of the driveway to throw something in the trash can and someone's going to start screaming and it's going to end in, gunpowder and blood. You just never know. We don't have a script to our lives. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow when we wake up or when we walk out in the parking lot tonight. Note to self.
I mean, Aaron's got a bunch of scripts to his life.
Yeah.
We were looking at him earlier.
Yeah. The Blair Witch Project. But yeah,
scary.
For real. Check out Second Call Defense. Don't wait till it's too late.
This portion of We Like Shooting has been sponsored by Second Call Defense, the most comprehensive protection for armed self-defense in America. Visit WeLikeShooting.com/SCD to find out how to get your first month free.
So that was midday too. Like, imagine it's like 1 o'clock. You're sitting in your house eating a sandwich or something.
Wait.
And then,
what kind of sandwich?
And then
Actually, I don't eat bread.
Some dude just walks in with a gun and is like, "Give me your car keys."
With that face, you're going to tell us you don't eat bread.
I know, right? It's so weird, but no, I don't eat bread.
At all?
Yeah, no.
Wow, that's crazy.
Not unless it's kosher.
Hey,
no, not even.
I want to give a shout out to Dave from High Point. He's out there watching.
Hey, Dave.
You're dead to us.
Savage?
No, just wait. Savage. Just wait till Gear Chat.
Wow.
See what happens.
You know what? Seriously though, Savage, you got to grow a beard.
Yeet Cannon.
Got to grow a beard, Savage.
All right, let's get into Patriot Patch Company. Oh, cool. No audio.
Anytime.
There is never audio for this.
I know,
by the way.
And it's like the first time every time.
There it is. Something.
This is our giveaway segment. This is WeLikeShooting.com/giveaway. There's 5 companies. Hold on, Dave. I'll tell you in a minute. Patriot Patch Company gives away 25 patches every month. Canals Tactical Group, a class, Black Rhino Concealment, $100 gift card. So before they were just giving away a holster, now they're giving away a $100 gift card every single month. Stuck Knot Customs $50 gift card, and Blue Alpha Gear a belt system. I just got a brand new belt from Blue Alpha. I actually am wearing it right now. It is multicam.
Let's see it.
I am so really.
Why not?
Okay, hold on.
I mean, you don't have to if you don't feel comfortable.
No, I feel comfortable.
I mean, dude, I know you've been losing tons of weight, so that's probably why you had to get a new belt. There it is. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Nicely done, man. Nicely done.
The best part is that the lights really, really showed my.
No, they're moobs, man.
Yeah.
They're moobs.
No, they're. I mean, I don't.
They're chesticles on a man.
Nothing is going to make me feel better about the fact that I have
chesticles.
Where was I? Yeah, so anyway, Blue Alpha Gear. Anyway, you can enter to win all of those. This is brought to you by the Patriot Patch Company. Go to patriotpatch.co and use coupon code WLS to get 10% off. And Patreons get extra entries And this is the time when we talk about some gear chat as soon as I find the audio. So now it's time for Gear Chat. It's brought to you by Faxon Firearms. Here we have in the studio live the new Faxon Firearms FX19. This is the Patriot and the Hellfire. And I know that me moving the guns when I say those things doesn't matter because 99% of our traffic is audio podcast. But these are the brand new firearms that they just introduced, so they're still making tons of barrels. They've got the M&P slides, the Patriot and the Hellfire, the same models there. But holy moly, look at this Hellfire. Let me just get it in the light. Just so you
goodness gracious,
and
great balls of fire.
Nick,
Does the Patriot have a suppressor sights on there?
No.
Okay.
Maybe.
I mean, they look like pretty tall sights.
No, they're just normal.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I'm dumb.
But you can get them in a lot of different options. So, Nick, you actually ended up liking the Patriot better.
Yeah, I kind of do, actually.
And I liked the Hellfire because I'm bougie AF.
They're both great. But I kind of like not having the windows on a gun this size.
See, now I like the windows because I like to know exactly what my barrel is doing at all times.
It's like, you know what you should do is put little eye, like googly eyes in the window. So every time you shoot, they go, what?
Yeah.
Like they can look out the window.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I absolutely love these guns. They've been doing really well for us so far, and we will be shooting them a lot more.
Absolutely.
We had a lot of fun. So anyway, these are available at FaxonFirearms.com. And look, we know if your name is not Frank C., you're not a douchebag, and you're not buying with other people's coupon codes. So if you use WLS10 at FaxonFirearms.com, you get a discount on these.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Frank C.
Yeah, actually. No, he's using other shows' coupon codes, even though he's WLS is life. That extra 5% was apparently really important to him.
Whoa, wait.
What?
We're going to have to talk about this after the show.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna have to.
We're going to have to get the triumvirate together so we can make some decisions.
So I did check, though, today, and the promo code does actually work on these.
I know.
Which is kind of nuts. I actually didn't expect it to because it is a brand new product.
Yeah.
I figured they're probably trying to recoup costs and stuff of development, so I didn't expect the coupon code to work. But just to be safe, I went to check, and it does in fact work. So I mean, on the Patriot, you're saving $130.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. That's what it's like to be about WLS's life, right there.
That's right.
Yeah. You may save 5% more at one place, but you're saving more everywhere.
And think of the children. You know, you're saving children.
Aaron, tell us about the children.
I have 3, and they're kids.
Wow,
they're younger.
I have never been more bored. FaxonFirearms.com. Coupon code WLS10 gets you 10% off. And now it's time, since I know that Dave from High Point is watching, I wanted to introduce the one, the only, the official, and the first on the market Yeet Cannon. Right there.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. Wait. Is that a Sky?
Yes, it is. This is a Sky CPX2, and it has the Yeet Cannon engraving on the slide there. First to market. Sorry, Dave. Love you, but this is the OG.
Oh, it's the original. I guess everything else is just an imitation.
So when this whole Yeet Cannon nonsense was going on, there were all kinds of products, and of course, being easily parted from my money, I ordered them all. This is the Sky CPX2 slide that has Yeet Cannon on it. It was actually pretty easy to put in. I carried this gun, and I guess I wanted to talk just a little bit about the Sky firearms. Dave said it's all good. Don't worry, we're getting a High Point too. You know we are. I mean, we literally have a YouTube segment called High Point Versus, where High Point always wins. Oh,
yeah, right there. Yeet Cannon versus Yeet Cannon.
yes.
And I would have answered that first. The lag didn't catch up with me.
It's so good. Nick, so we're going to have to do High Point versus the Yeet Cannon.
Yeah. Yeet Cannon versus Yeet Cannon.
Until later this year when the High Point Yeet Cannon actually comes out. But actually, Dave did me a solid. I'm working on a project with a bunch of the just like top frickin' Cerakoters and coders in the business. We just ordered 6 High Points from Dave, and he hooked us up big time. So thanks to High Point for that. Thanks to Dave for that. And anyway, just got this in today. This is the slide for the CPX2. I carried the CPX2
Sean,
for...
I'm sorry to interrupt, Sean, but you have 6 people you don't like?
No, so I can't say a whole lot, but there's 6 Cerecoders, 6 of the top Cerecoders in the industry. And
I gotcha. I'm tracking.
Me and a couple other content creators, we got together, we all pitched in, and we're going to do the most epic Yeet Cannons on the face of the planet.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to happen. They should actually be getting there today or tomorrow, I think. So anyway, this Sky slide was $75, and it was real easy to pop out and just replace the barrel and the guide rod and put it back on. Kind of fun.
$75 for the slide?
Yeah, which is like basically the same.
Yeah, it's what Sky costs, right?
Yeah, it was the same price as the whole gun, pretty much. I carried this for a while. I know people like on Skies all the time too, but I'm like, I carried it. I shot it. I've shot it a lot. I shot a bunch of self-defense ammo through it. I took it to the range. So yeah, I know people on them, but has anyone here actually shot a CPX2?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And what were your thoughts?
No. I did not care for it.
And why?
Because the barrel was incredibly heavily pitted.
Oh, that one, yeah.
And as a result, it was destroying the bullets before they left the barrel.
That's interesting. I'm not going to look down the muzzle of this right now, but
it was like shooting a shotgun.
I don't have to stick my head up a bull's ass to see a T-bone, but I'll take the butcher's word for it. Aaron, you've shot a CPX2. What'd you think?
It had a pitted barrel. I shot yours. It was fine. It was it felt like it rattled a lot. So I don't know. It shot fine.
It doesn't rattle at all.
No, I mean, a lot of guns rattle.
Yeah, actually,
no.
these.
You know what? Hey, listen. It's my turn to talk.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so Aaron's criticism is that it rattled a lot. Jeremy,
it didn't feel like it had tight tolerances. It felt like it was, pretty slapped together. But that was my opinion, not yours.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Jeremy,
well, your opinion's wrong.
Wow.
Ooh.
CPX2, Jeremy. What are your thoughts?
I didn't hate it. It's they don't fit my hand like at all.
Yeah,
I guess that's just a curse of being an ogre.
Yeah, finger grooves. I know you hate those.
Yeah, they it's pretty bad. But double action trigger that's annoying.
Yep. No, I totally agree. Like there's good things about it and there's bad things about it. And you know me, like I'm all about if it's low cost and gets people into firearms, whether it's for self-defense or just plinking on the weekends. Like I don't give a man. If what you can afford is $150, then get something that's worth $150 and take it to the range and practice with it and do all those things. Because I guarantee you, like I'll outshoot a lot of people with a high point. I'll outshoot a lot of people with a Sky CPX2. It's guns are generally going to shoot better than a person's ability.
Yeah,
that's my favorite question at the fucking range. Is this gun accurate? It's more accurate than you are, buddy.
It's true.
Mechanically, yes. You might not be able to harness that, but mechanically, it's fine.
So the real Nick Lunch over at WeLikeShooting.com/live said, "Wasn't Sean sick of the Yeet Cannon stuff last week?" And yes, I was. But that was only so I could start talking about everything else Yeet Cannon this week. No, yeah, I hate it. And I hate it because the people who actually voted for it don't give a shit about high point, and they're never going to give a shit about high points. And as soon as this passes, they're going to lose interest. Some of them might actually buy the Yeet Cannon, and I think they'll get another push when they release the Yeet Cannon. But this is Bodie McBoatface all over again. It's people that were just trying to be trolls, not because they care about the brand or they have ever cared about the brand, just because they were jumping on the bandwagon, and that's just the way it is. I will say that I did a thing today where I posted a picture of this and said this is the OG Yeet Cannon, because you guys know me, like I post high point all the time. Anytime that we need a bump in engagement, I post high point stuff because it's brilliant for that. Because some people love them, some people hate them. So now I posted this. And what we had in the comments was people coming out and being like, high points are way better than that piece of shit. And it was one of the most glorious things that I've ever seen in my whole life. So people who last week wouldn't piss on a high points gums if its teeth were on fire are now defending it and holding it up on a pedestal. And that is what I love.
Your sides are crooked.
My sights are crooked, Nick says.
Yeah.
They actually really are.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Well,
I wish they would come out with a version. Like I wish they would come out with a Sky that was either striker fire or single action, double single.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there.
I'd probably stock them and sell them a lot more because you get one in, yeah, it's cheap, but you're like, here, feel this gun. It's got one of the worst triggers in the fucking industry.
No, you're not wrong.
Well, that gun is similar to my gun, and that it's almost an exact copy, and I have some things to say about that.
I know. I actually saw your gun. I was like, holy shit, does he have a Sky as well? And
right.
In fact, Savage, why don't you tell us about your product? Oh, and by the way, this Yeet Cannon slide for the CPX2, if you have a CPX2, is available at sccy.com, and it costs $75.
So I was looking on Gunbroker, and a thing happened, and that thing that happened was this Kel-Tec P11, the Sky CPX 0.5, basically. If you were to put them up against each other and look at the internals, at least out on the outside, they're virtually identical. I'd be willing to bet that the guts are pretty similar as well.
Well, they're both 1911 derivatives, so, they're pretty...
Yeah, exactly. So this thing came originally without a rear sight. It came with the original 10-round magazine, and I made a bunch of changes to it to kind of make it not suck. What I first did was I started with the magazine. I replaced the follower on it. I put a modified follower from a Beretta 92 magazine in there, and so I increased the capacity from 10 to 11 rounds. And because all the PF9 or the P11 magazines are compatible with the Smith & Wesson 59 series magazines, I was able to take a 6906 pinky extension and use that as the base place on this one. So now my P11 has a pinky extension on it, which actually allows me to fit all three fingers on it, whereas before my bottom pinky finger would hang off. I got a Hogue Junior grip on there that puts the finger grooves on there. So this basically, grip-wise, is identical to the Sky because it has the two finger grooves plus the pinky extension on there. Then I went on to mcarbo.com, got their steel guide rod and recoil spring, firing pin spring, trigger return spring, and mainspring replacement kit on there. Put that in, and I went to SDK Precision, and they make a fully adjustable trigger for this thing. And the combination of that was pretty awesome. Originally, this thing started out, it's got a ridiculously trigger, the P11 and probably the Sky CPX2. It's thin and it's sharp. It feels sharp, so it feels like when you're pulling on it, it feels like it's cutting your finger. But this one from SDK Precision is nice and flat. It's got a wide face on it, so when you pull on it, you don't feel like it's digging into your finger at all. And it has a pre-travel and an over-travel adjustment screw. So when you pull the trigger back, you can get it just to the point where it breaks, and then that screw is preventing any more over-travel on that part. The fact that it's metal also makes it a lot smoother, and it reduced the trigger pull weight from around 10 pounds to down to about 6 pounds. So I don't know if SDK Precision has the same thing for a Sky, but I think it'd be definitely worth looking into because it made a huge difference as far as I'm concerned. The guide rod and spring, I think, made the action a lot smoother, and as it stands now, I still haven't had a chance to shoot it, but it feels like quite a bit of a different gun than when I first got it.
That looks so much like the CPX2.
It does. It looks ridiculously like the CPX2.
I mean,
I paid $140 for the. Look at that!
Wow.
Yeah,
they're all kind of similar.
They really are. How much do you have into that gun?
So about $240 as I think what it comes out to, and I know that's what a new P11 would cost if you bought it from the store.
Yeah,
I think this functions way better. Plus, I have 12 round capacity instead of the 11.
But think about for that much money, all of the good guns you could have got that were like police trade-ins or something, you know?
Not that many. There's not that many that are out there. I mean, I could maybe have gotten another one of those Spanish 9mm 1911s. Maybe another one of those. But other than that, I'm not seeing too many for 240.
I mean, Kel-Tec's okay, but it's no fucking Yeet Cannon.
It is. It's the OG Yeet Cannon.
Apparently, yeah, because it looks to be a direct copy of it.
No, the SCCY is a copy of the Kel-Tec P11. I think that's been pretty well established.
Dude, I mean, it really has to be like, holy
look at the front here. The front looks like f***ing identical. Like all the geometry there.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, I also want to give a shout out to Kel-Tec because I needed a replacement rear sight, and I gave them a call. Or I didn't call them. I sent them an email. Within 24 hours, they got back to me. They said, yeah, we'll ship you one right out. And they got 2 rear sights and a front sight from me. I replaced those. And even though they sent it, I'm really not a fan of their rear sights because they're plastic and they don't sit well in the dovetail. So I might you can actually take an SCCY metal rear sight and replace the one in the P11. So I might end up doing that.
Well, you could have mine because it's halfway out. Thanks a lot, Sky.
Dude.
Yeah. I don't even know.
Just scratch off the serial numbers. You know what to do next.
Come on.
I don't advocate doing that.
Aaron, you've got an interesting product. What is it?
I came across this the other day as the Russian Lebedev PL14/15. So the 14 was their standard model, and 15 is a new model coming out. It's a Russian pistol. It looks a lot like it has a very close profile to the CZ-P10, but it has a lower bore axis. What's that?
It looks a little bit like a Hudson.
Well, but it's got more of a profile like the Strike 1 from Arsenal.
Yeah, for sure.
What I thought was really – what's that?
I said, oh, yeah, we've talked about this.
Yeah. One of the things I thought was really interesting is it has a safety on it. You don't normally see a lot of striker-fired firearms with safeties on them. Or at least I don't normally see a lot of striker-fired firearms with safeties on them. Russian standard pistol that they use. I thought it was really interesting looking. If you want to see pictures of it, check it out in the show notes. Other than that, I like the palm swell that it offers. I like the grip angle. It looks like it'd be a comfortable gun to shoot. I don't know what the trigger pulls would be like. It's got a rail on the bottom, so for accessories.
To me, it looks less like the Strike B and more like the Lago Arms Alien.
Well, it wouldn't be a Strike B; it would be a Strike 1.
Or Strike. It looks less like that and more like the Lago Arms Alien pistol.
I could see that.
But I like the way it looks, man.
It does look pretty cool.
It's a space-looking gun, yeah.
Yeah, it almost has the grip angle is almost like the Neo. It looks. I don't think it's as drastic as the Beretta Neo, but it's
that
like
gun. Gun.
I know, man. I know you hate that gun.
We don't talk about that gun.
Yeah. So anyhow, it's 9mm. It looks like a good gun to have. I mean, I'd be willing to trade my Strike 1 for one.
You love that gun.
I know, but I might like this one more.
Why? What do you think you might like better?
It looks like it's a full. Some of them look like they're full metal frames, which would be really cool. The palm swell looks really nice. Now, the one thing I don't like about the Strike 1 is if you actually are looking at a picture of one, where you purchase with the meat part of your thumb right here, it's almost got like this little ridge that comes out so it kind of cuts into your thumb right here. When you try to get your hand as high up as possible on the gun, it's not as comfortable as you think.
Yeah.
It shoots great, but this Russian one, man, and normally I'm not a big fan of Eastern Bloc firearms, but this one's got my interest.
Aaron Dave from High Point wants to know if he can borrow your Strike 1.
Yeah, he can actually.
He's actually, I don't think, that far from you.
Yeah, totally. He's more than welcome. It's become a queen in the safe. So
nice. Well, you don't get your f***ing yeet all over it, okay?
Come get some. More than welcome to it, man.
All right, awesome stuff. And Nick Lynch.
Uh-oh. So,
wow, you were playing Pac-Man again.
No, I wasn't.
Oh.
I was looking
what service were you playing
Pac-Man
Pac-Man
was talking about.
Google.
Google has Pac-Man?
Yeah, that was...
Well, you could turn an entire webpage into Pac-Man, right?
That was before the show. So, Jeremy, have you heard of this before? Or is this new for you too?
The Routledge boar?
Yeah.
I've heard it, but I have no idea what it is.
Okay, so what this is, I learned about this today, so this is a new one for me. What this is back in the, 30s, I guess, 20s, 30s, this guy developed this 22 bore, so it would be a standard rifled 22 caliber barrel, and then the last 12 inches or so of the barrel, according to this, would open up to about 3/8 of an inch and be smooth bore. And basically, the idea was that you could shoot like 22, like rat shot, like the shot shells. But it extended the effective range out to like 15 yards, somewhere in there. And you hear that, and that doesn't sound like very cool or interesting or whatever, until you also find out that apparently at the time it was very popular to shoot skeet with them. And they had these tiny little, I couldn't find any good photos of them, but they were, they called them like mosquito or mesquite go or something like that. But these little clays that were like, an inch or two in diameter.
I found a picture of them right here. They're called mosquites.
Mosquites, there you go.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
And actually, here's a picture of them next to a ruler.
Oh,
so you can see how small
that's
they
even
are.
better. So yeah, pretty neat idea. When I first heard about this, I was like, I don't understand what the purpose of this is until I started reading about that. I guess originally the idea was, varmint control, shooting rats and stuff, and being able to hit a little bit further than you could with a normal 22. But then when I heard about, actually playing games with them, I was like, because I've said for a very long time that I think the true test of a sportsman would be hunting hummingbirds with a 410, right?
Oh, Jesus.
And this seems like an ethical way to simulate something like that.
Truth.
Well, I mean, the ultimate test of a marksman was sniping.
Yeah.
Quite literally,
Right.
Snipe.
shooting snipes.
Snipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a season for him back in Montana.
It's like targeting womprats in your T-15.
Bullseye
Yeah.
and womp rats.
Yeah.
Yeah, bullseyeing.
So yeah,
Actually,
conversation
they
anyways.
had their own skeet thrower too. If you see this here,
I did find the skeet thrower. It's pretty
It's all about the skeet.
pretty interesting stuff.
you can get one for $408.
I had no idea. So now I want to find some of these clays. Apparently, these rifles are pretty collectible to the people who are aware of them. I kind of want to find one in some clays and give it a go. Apparently, there was also a company that you could send your rifle in, and they would modify the bore, do the counter bore on it, and then mount a vent rib on the barrel.
Nice.
Yeah, so you could get like a pump action 22 rifle or something, and have it counterbored and a rib put on it.
Oh, jeez.
Sounds pretty fun. I'm kind of in.
I was going to type. I was going to say.
Okay, congratulations.
No, my keyboard had a stroke.
Sounds like you did too, though.
With the stroke of a key.
I'm gonna see if they got one on anything on Gunbroker.
Nice.
Yeah, you should
Wait.
buy one and also that thrower, and then find the clays, and we'll come out there and shoot it sometime.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually...
You do all the work.
Yes,
And
exactly.
We'll reap your rewards.
Exactly.
Okay, Aaron, don't act like you've never done that before.
That's how I live my life. That's why I'm so familiar with your actions. That's important, 110%.
How much?
This is a Winchester Model 61, 1939 pre-war, shot only with 22 long rifle, shot only with box and paper, CNR OK, $8,000.
What?
Wow.
I'd rather buy a full auto Uzi.
Yeah.
I'd rather buy a semi.
Yeah, but those are about 20,000.
He means a Mac 10.
Yeah, sorry, Mac 10.
Here's a Remington 510 Target Master Rutledge bore, $350.
Oh, that's not too
Yeah,
bad.
there you go. Jeremy, buy that. We'll come shoot it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm really debating on buying one of these 509s I got in today.
Really?
I got in 2 509 tacticals. And
Get them both, and then you can wear one on each side.
dude, they came with 2 24-round magazines.
Nice. That is awesome.
That is a lot to get the out of my house.
Dude, the FN 509 is so hot right now.
So hot.
It's so hot.
You know what? The FN, the hardest part of selling FNs to people is non-gun people or not very gun savvy people are like, what the is an FN? I'm like, just buy the effing gun.
I see what you did there.
Now that you're a dad, you do dad jokes.
Wow. Wow.
Actually, to be fair, I stole that from Tony. To be fair.
All right. Good stuff, guys. Let's go ahead and talk about some lifestyle.
What you gonna do now? Talk about lifestyles. Hey, Aaron, what you gonna do now? Talk about lifestyles.
All right. So,
before I go to bed every night, I always look at the sale sections of the Brownells.
I love how you have totally stolen the thing that I do every day.
Yeah, because I really actually don't do that at all.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, I quit doing it because you were doing it, and I'm a leader, not a follower.
Whatever.
Now I fall asleep on the phone every night.
I did it.
I don't want to know.
I did it before and after, and I did it between because I don't really care what other people do. So
wow,
yeah.
I like that. I like that. Be yourself.
Hey,
yeah, that's
Nick,
right.
So edgy, bro.
I used to, but I still do too.
Today, man, they had a freaking killer sale, 10% off plus free shipping.
$10 off.
Yeah, 10% off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, plus free shipping. So, dude, they constantly have good sales at brownells.com in the main slider. They've got all that stuff. I actually have the Edge program, which is Amazon Prime for gun stuff.
Oh, so edgy.
Free 2-day shipping. So edgy. And just all kinds of stuff. So I was going through some of the stuff today and doing our order for the month of June because apparently, we're rebels and we're late at everything. But yeah, always fantastic stuff. If you are interested in building your own Glockish type pistol, Brownells has so many good things for you there. They've got like facts and barrels, and they've got Brownells slides and just all kinds of other stuff. So check them out, brownells.com. Get the Edge program. And if you don't mind, go to WeLikeShooting.com/sponsors and click on Brownells. We get credit for it. So thank you for that. Aaron, what is your lifestyle tonight?
So picture it being the winter. We're cooped up in your house.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming. We're cooped up inside. We get to the range every so often, but we don't really get to move and shoot and stuff. And now it's nice outside, and we can really get outside and do some training. I know, Sean, you've done some training this year outside. You've done night shooting. You've gone to that thing that Kevin put on. You've done a lot of stuff. And you got a lot more coming up, I assume, as well.
Yeah, man. I've done so my goal for 2019 was to train way more than I had been, and I'm way on track for that.
That's awesome. And I think our listeners should do the same thing. It's nice out. Get out there, enjoy it, enjoy the weather. It gives you a lot more freedom, a lot more movement. Okay, when you shoot at a range, you're in a stall. You've got 2 feet by 2 feet that you can work with. When you're outside, a lot more freedom, and not just shoot outside. Get out there and train outside. That's my advice. That's my lifestyle for this week.
Yeah, I mean, so training, first of all, yeah, it's cool to train in the summer. My favorite is training in the winter and the cold and everything, just because, A, there's less people there, but summer's a great time. Like, if you live in a place that's not like in St. Louis, Missouri, where everyone tries to die when you train there, go get some outdoors training. Like, get some run and gun kind of stuff. I'm not saying, like, kick down doors and do crazy like that, and Nick,
do that if you can.
Yeah, do that if you can. Nick and I are lucky. Like, we get to train with Kanaz Tactical Group. They give away a class every month, by the way. WeLikeShooting.com/giveaway. But we get to train with Robert Butler a lot. And that means that we're getting really good skills. We get to refine and practice our skills. And occasionally when we do night fire, and I've done the vehicle counter ambush class and all that stuff, it really, every single time it changes my paradigm and it really gets me thinking. So if you can afford it, if you can figure out a way to get it in the budget, classes are under $200 generally. And you can definitely find some ways to save some money on there. Like, for example, KTG Firearms, KanazTacticalGroup.com. If you use code WeLikeShooting, you get 20% off. So, like, use that stuff and absolutely get it out there, get it done, and really spend some time doing that. But not just that, like go into the range, on the really hot days, like take an umbrella, take a bunch of water, go to the range. On the super, super hot days, there's not a ton of people there. I think that's a great way to do it. And then, clearly just getting outdoors, spending some time in nature, camping, whether you're doing any survival stuff or you're just hiking, and, use your brain and think about the things that you're going to do. If you're going hiking, think about, what if I got lost? What would I need for 24 hours, and plan that out. Plan out your med kit. Summer's a great time to take medical classes. All kinds of great medical classes all over the place. It's a great time to do it. So really plan it out, really think about it, and, spend some time learning that way. Even if you're just going on a hike, you can put so much good and critical thought into those things. And summertime is really a fantastic time to do it because there's different weather conditions, there's different risks, there's different challenges, there's different threats. The dead middle of summer, you got to worry about snakes and things like that. What's your plan to deal with snakes? And then you put some thought into it, and that way, if anything bad ever happens, you've already considered it. So summer is a great time. Outdoor activities are fantastic. Get out in the wonderful world of nature, and spend some time being a human being.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeet, yeet.
God, stop it.
Yeet, yeet.
No, we will not allow it. We will not allow it. Hey guys, I do want to mention real quick. We just released some new shirts today. So this is actually Nick's idea. So the Declaration of Independence, which is a painting by John Trumbull from 1800s, but it basically represented June 28th, 1776, which is when they first ratified the Declaration of Independence at the Continental Congress. And let's see, when was it? July 4th that actually everyone was there and it was official and everything, because who was it? The delegate from New York wasn't there on the 28th, so he had to get approval.
They voted on the 22nd, then argued over language for the next 2 days, and then approved the language on the 4th.
I'm so glad they went with English.
Yeah, it was definitely important. So anyway, yes, all good things. We released those. They will be available for just a little bit of time. You can find them on our Facebook page and our Instagram, and we also sent out an email today. What was the coupon code?
I can't remember. We did one for social media and one for email. So go check Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff.
But
or sign up for our emails.
Yeah, and it's the We Like Shooting logo with that painting kind of in the background, and it says July 4th, 1776.
And it's pretty rad, actually.
Yeah, and there's also the flag logos are sick as hell too. So check that out. This is the time when we talk about all of the news that Reddit has to offer. Savage 1 Hour, take it away.
Right. Well, today is July 1st, and it really sucks for Washington State and California. So if you haven't been listening, or if you have been under a rock and haven't been listening to me for the last year, I've been moaning about I-1639, and today is when the bulk of that law goes into place. So as of now, it now is required to have complete registration of any new pistol or semi-automatic rifle being sold in the state of Washington. There's been a run on gun stores up here, tons and tons of guns being sold up until the last day, which was yesterday. Lots of stores staying open late just to get things out the door before the door shut, essentially on our rights. So as of now, like I was saying, there's a complete registration on your pistol and semi-auto rifles. In order to own a semi-auto rifle or pistol, you now have to take a course. Now, if you see the link in my show notes, there's actually
they're all of our show notes. They're not just yours, buddy.
Our show notes. Sporting Systems has made a free course that they have gotten verified by lawyers that would satisfy the requirements of the training course. It's free to use. You get a certificate at the end of it that you can take to the gun shop and prove that, yes, you watched the videos and you are now trained in the that you need to be trained in. And also, lastly, there's a 10-day minimum waiting period for all gun purchases, even if you have a CCW license or CPL in the state of Washington. So we got
buy it out of state. Because you can buy long guns.
You can. So there's a stipulation. There's a number of loopholes because the people who wrote the laws are dumb.
The poop hole loophole.
The poop hole loophole would be the number one. The number two would be that you can go to either Idaho or Oregon, and or any adjacent state, basically, where it is legal to transfer a rifle and purchase a rifle there from an FFL and transport it back to the state of Washington. So that is legal. What is also legal is purchasing lowers. So they failed to define what a firearm is. So in essence, they basically said that as long as you buy a fully assembled rifle or a fully assembled pistol, you have to get this registration and all this class work and extra background checks and waiting periods with a lower receiver that is. It can be a complete lower receiver in either rifle or pistol form. It just can't be joined with an upper. As long as it's a receiver, it's still an other, so it doesn't require those extra steps. So that's our loophole for the Washington state law. California, on the other hand, is now, and again, they've seen a gigantic rush with this in all the firearm stores. They've had a complete ban on ammunition being sold without a background check and over the internet. So if you are going to buy ammunition over the internet or from a store, you have to pay a $20 initial screening fee plus $1 each time, which is a processing fee for buying the ammunition. So it's going to add $20 the first time, and each time you go in to buy ammo, $1 to run a background check on you, essentially. So
where's that money go to?
It goes to.
It actually goes to
state of California.
Well, yeah, but it goes specifically to. It's supposed to go specifically to do like a. I don't remember if it was research or just.
It's probably research
to fund like a committee or something for family violence.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to fund gun control studies, basically.
What kind of safeguards do they have in place where you won't allow you to go out of state and purchase?
There's none. There's nobody basically setting up shop at the borders of California. It is illegal, according to the law, to purchase ammo outside of to travel to another state and purchase that ammo. I don't necessarily know that any FFLs or any stores that are in those other states are going to necessarily block you, but they could run the risk of being sued by the AG of California.
So I was looking, Chris Dubb just said it's $19 and only if you aren't in the system. So if you
aren't in the system, initial setup fee,
yeah, dude, it's tough, man. And having been in California recently and seeing like how just like what awesome Second Amendment people they are and how much they love guns. And I was just talking to somebody else yesterday. I was talking to someone yesterday, and he was talking about all his friends at work and how he lives in California, in San Bernardino, and just how much like all of his coworkers are gun people and how much they loved it, but they really can't talk about it, and it's just so stupid.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Fly to Ohio, come to my range. I'll sell you all of the guns
except pistols.
Except pistols.
Yeah, except pistols.
Yeah,
all the rifles.
Yeah.
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 All right. Make Jeremy a rich man.
But yeah, today is the first day of D-Day, and we're recording this on the 1st. This will come out on the 4th.
Something like that.
Yeah. Oh man, we need to play some music or something.
So the whole ammo thing, though, Savage. Do they have to work on having to pay money if they produce their own ammo at home?
I doubt it. I doubt they've gone as far as to regulate specific components of ammunition, just rounds. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah, I don't think that they have yet.
Yeah. There's your in. Make a bunch of ammo with no primers in there.
Hey, since this comes out... Oh, I'm sorry, Aaron. I totally Aaroned you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just have them make a push primer ammo, and then you can get around that whole thing because it's not fully ammo because you can't shoot it.
Well, I mean, what definition of ammunition are we going from? Because as far as the federal definition, any component of ammunition is ammunition.
Right, but we're going by California because in the federal system, we don't have to pay a tax to buy ammo.
That's true.
We don't have to pay a fee, whatever.
Well, that's a Ryan Kleckner question.
So since this show comes out on the 4th of July, how about some of this? Oh my God, that was so loud.
God,
was that actually music or was that just something?
Why? Why would I do that? Oh my God, that was awful.
So how about some of this?
Okay, turn it down a little more. That is so terrible. Okay, there you go.
Why are you playing that?
I don't know, because this comes out on the 4th of July. I feel like
that's not a patriotic song.
Born in the USA?
Yeah, Proud to be an American is a 4th of July song.
That's actually what I'm looking for, which is Nick's favorite song.
No, not that loud, please.
Oh, no.
God. He's turning the volume back up. I'm like, no, God, how about this? And then he blows out my eardrums.
Switch ears, That's why we have 2 of everything.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to turn it down, and then I'm going to play this song, which is Nick's favorite song. I turned it down, Nick. It's fine.
Okay.
Here we go. This is Nick's favorite song.
It's a great song. It's very patriotic, and I love it.
No, that is not what you said yesterday.
No, that's exactly what I said.
You said you hate this song.
I never said that.
I have it on video.
No, you don't.
I just watched it today. It was Friday at the Range.
You do not have this on video. I don't know what you're talking about because I wouldn't say that.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't like this song, then you're not even American.
Yeah, I hate this song.
Had to start again with just my children and my wife. Come on.
Let's get to the hook.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
I'm free.
Won't forget.
God is I gladly stand up. That's on Nick doesn't sing the song.
God, I love this land.
God bless we will sing. I think cats are screaming everywhere.
Yeah, wow. Okay, apparently we hate America after that. But no, really, we love America. It's amazing.
I like America more than you like America.
I feel like that was we just crossed the f***ing line. We took Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA and we destroyed it. And that is why we were bad people.
Amen.
You're terrible.
Nick, I am ashamed of you.
I'm ashamed of you, so it works out pretty well.
Speaking of things to be ashamed of, the author of the next study should be ashamed of how it was.
Whoa.
Oh, nice segue.
Yeah, right. So this author might sound familiar to some of you who have read a lot of anti-gun studies. It's John J. Donahue, who that's pretty much all he does is author anti-gun studies. It's kind of like, scientist studies water, discovers it's wet, except, this guy just does this. This is his only thing in life. So his recent study says that right to carry handgun laws trigger 13 to 15% increase in violent crime a decade after a typical state adopts them. The only problem is, like I was saying, all his evidence is crap. He does a number of citations within his paper that he cites go to statistics, like he claims statistics within these citations, but they aren't statistics. They're just anecdotal evidence of people giving, their like interviews with their experience about a certain event happening. It doesn't actually have to do with numbers. And then he self-cites himself on other papers that he's done that have also been pretty well debunked. One of the interesting things is that he says that Texas is a right to carry state, and it's not a right to carry state. You need a concealed carry license in order to carry in Texas. So that automatically skews some of the stats there. Another one he did is he said that violent crime. An increase in violent crime was large in Pennsylvania, up by more than 24% in 10 years. However, violent crime was down in Pennsylvania during that same time. And then in the middle of the study, or dealing with time frames, the author cherry-picked which dates he was going to pay attention to. So, for example, for RTC states, the author state that between 1981 and 2007, they jumped. They just stopped looking at statistics after 2007, and then they compared it to analysis between 1977 and 2014. So they're trying to cross all these different date ranges and numbers, and they have to basically with all the numbers in order to make it match their synthetic state that basically comes up with all this gobbledygook and basically is. I linked to this R Science thread where they pretty thoroughly trash this guy and his science. So it's a pretty interesting read and worth watching.
Yeah, I saw this and read about it, but yeah, just ridiculous. Just more cherry-picked stupidity.
Yeah, can't do anything about it. Last one I want to talk about, some of you might be familiar with the Ask Amy column that happened, I think it was about a week ago, where this dumbfounded father talked about his 24-year-old daughter who was living with him, and she said that she had a .40 caliber semi-automatic weapon with hollow points, and Amy said that these bullets explode, and ammunition is illegal. This ammunition is illegal in 11 states. It's not. It's like illegal in one state, sort of, New Jersey. And she made a lot of real claims, and people called her out on it. And so, what did she do? Did she really apologize for all that and say, "Okay, I made a mistake"? No, she doubled down on her retardedness and went even further. One of her quotes that I tweeted back to her, and she was very proud of that she made this quote. I don't get it. So she says, "I also have a bias against the gun lobby that gaslights Americans into believing that gun ownership is not only a right, but also these days a necessity, as many readers have suggested." When you're somebody who believes that gun ownership is not a right, and you live in the United States where it is explicitly spelled out as a right, and then you get mad and throw a little hissy fit when people tell you that you're a dumbass, you're just opening yourself up for more and more criticism. That's what this lady's doing, and I'm glad, because I think it's really knocking down her credibility. This is somebody whose reputation is built on credibility, and she's trying to be the know-it-all who has all the advice, and she's coming up and dispensing terrible advice, and it's obvious, and she's getting called out on it. So I think that's a great thing.
I mean, if my daughter showed up with a .40 caliber, I'd kick her out of the house too.
I mean, we know this, but she doesn't.
Here's what's funny is she literally says, "I firmly believe that homeowners have the right to protect themselves and their homes from civilians bringing firearms onto their private property."
Yeah. She can't get her head straight.
It's just so dumb. Like, off.
Right. That's all I got, man.
It's double down on stupid. I guess that is the America that we live in today. Thank you very much, Savage. Appreciate your contributions as always. And let's go ahead and move into what we colloquially refer to as Jeremy's Time to Shine.
It's positively Derek. Positively POZ Derek.
And this is where we talk about all the reviews, and we've actually been running a little bit of a contest for one of the Patriot optics from Swamp Fox. And actually, I've got a Swamp Fox optic on this gun right here. This is the red dot Kingslayer.
Yes.
Yeah, Kingslayer, but it's not a red dot. This is a prototype green circle dot. I actually love it. Nick, earlier when I turned it on, how excited did I get?
Pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I forgot it was green. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, but we're going to read the reviews. But before we do, check out the Sonoran Desert Institute, sdi.edu. Nick, you've been posting some abortions of guns lately.
I have, yes.
And telling people they should go to SDI if they want to learn how to do things correctly. What was it? Was that an MG42, the last one?
It was an attempt.
Oh, my God.
An attempt was made.
Put down the Dremel and the welder.
That one was great because somebody took it in while I was gone. So I came in and there was just like this case, and I opened the case and I look at it and I was like, who took this in? And, the person comes over and they're like, oh, yeah. And I was like, what are we doing with this? And they were like, well, they just wanted to know if you could, do some work on it and maybe fix it up a little bit because he's not real happy with the job he's doing. And I was like, no.
Like what?
No, there's nothing I can – no. Absolutely not.
I don't understand what they wanted you to do.
I don't really either. The whole thing was just terrible. He had a bunch of stuff that was warped from heat, and it was bad. I made them call him back and have him come back and get it.
Wow.
I was like, no.
So bad. So anyway, go check out sdi.edu if you want to learn how to do things better. And Jeremy, take it away, friend.
I was going to say, you're really cutting into my time looking for a gun that I thought of while you were talking earlier.
Well, I mean, go ahead, share it with us.
I've talked about it before. Savage 24F, 30-30 over 12 gauge.
Oh yeah, you have talked about that. I recall that.
This guy wants $680 for one on Gunbroker. That is too much.
All right, go ahead and take it away with these, and we will see. After that, we're going to pick a winner of the optic.
So good on NRA Troubles by 121664. 5 stars. Please do another episode on the NRA with NRA TV and Cox Gone. I would love to hear more from you. Thanks.
Very nice. Congratulations, Nick. Good job on that.
Not Just Apocalypse Currency by Stone RM57. 5 stars. Hello from the horrible commie state of New York. I want to start out by saying I love the show. You guys are hilarious and informative, except for Sean. He's not funny at all, but he's a great host. In a recent episode, you guys talk about selling your hair, and I think it's a great idea. I have several crimes that I may or may not want to commit, and I need some scapegoats. To frame, I think he meant.
Yeah, but I mean, he's going to say I'm not funny, but I can't write a sentence.
Right. Leaving your hair at murder scenes should be good enough to clear me and land the whole group in prison. Don't worry, I think you guys will have a great time. Jeremy can finally get a stateside with that SSB. You guys could live like kings. Keep up the good work. There should be a comma in there, I think. Keep up the good work. Love the show. Remember, registration always leads to confiscation. A good commie is a dead commie, and diabetes kills.
Wow, there's so much to love there. F off. Next review.
Just Be Glad I Did by Tree Trimmer.
Hold on a second. I'm funny at
I think they hit his funny bone.
Aaron, can I get a ruling?
Sean, you are the funniest guy I know, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Appreciate you. All right, next review.
Yeah, but like, not funny, haha.
Okay, thank you very much. Move on. Jeremy, and just to show you how funny I actually am.
No, let's just move on.
No, I actually have a recording here where Jeremy laughs at something that I do. Here, I'll go to the end. Wait, where is it? Here we go. Jeremy laughing uncontrollably. Oh, that's not the one with Jeremy's laughter. Never mind. I'm not. I'm not funny at all. Move along.
5 stars. I don't have one of those clever, drawn-out reviews like the rest of you attention whores. I just listen because I'm too fat, angry, kind of angry, a little annoying, bald, and like shooting. My ears are normal size, and my SSB is not bleached, so I'm kind of out of my league here. Just keep doing what you guys do. You are all an asset to the community. I will continue to support you until the apocalypse. Then someone else can support you while I gather my bartering material. Hashtag WLS is life. Pound SSB.
Okay, I like it. That's good. At least you didn't say I wasn't funny.
Facebook. All right. David E. recommends We Like Shooting. A show featuring the hashtag SSB ATM with ears, Sean. A man 2 cheeseburgers away from fatal heart disease, Nick. A man who wants your wife as much as he wants your gold, Aaron. A living embodiment of gun knowledge and hate personified, Jeremy. And a stand-in substitute, Savage.
All right. If my looked like Savage, I would literally bob it myself. See, that was funny. Jeremy laughed.
He's like a with a toupee.
He doesn't even have hair.
I know.
Yeah,
he loves a toupee.
Savage looked.
Wait, can we get Savage a toupee?
Yes. Find it on Amazon. I will order it right now.
But in all seriousness, one of the best gun podcasts out there, full of tons of humor, insight, and free of politics, something that's endemic in many others. P.S. Sean needs his Glock 43 chamber adjusted to fit 33-round magazines, if you know what I'm saying.
We don't know what you're saying. Next.
Your butt needs to hold more ammo.
Wow. I knew what he was saying. I don't know why you had to specify, but that's okay.
Austin H. Is this more of the weird?
You're good. You're good.
Austin H. Chris, my dearest Chris, I could spend eternity. Oh, this is back to the swamp fox. Could spend eternity gazing into your twinkling eyes through your crystal clear glass. I know you feel it too. The passion that burns inside us both, I can't help but wonder every time I hear the name whispered softly and sweetly, Swamp Fox, what your erector tubes are like. We may have never met, Chris, but I can't help but believe that every time I look through a scope that's not a Swamp Fox, it's your voice I hear gently whispering, get that piece of shit off your rifle, put a Patriot on there. Now that Jeremy has an awkward but it's not from this. It's because I've been looking up porn the whole show. And Chris from Swamp Fox knows how I really feel about him. Here's the actual WLS review. WLS is, in my opinion, the best firearms two-way podcast out there. It's a perfect synthesis of offensive comedy, information, news, reviews, and jokes. Each member of the cast brings something to the table, and it creates a Thanksgiving feast of the show, except for Savage, because communism.
Yes.
Didn't we already read this one? I remember Howard Fudd from the other one.
Yeah, I think we did read this one.
Yeah, already read that one.
Okay, so we got a bunch of these. We read a ton of them last week. But, guys, now we have to actually pick the one that's the funniest. And let me just go back and say there was
None of them stood out. They all failed. Nobody gets anything.
Dude, I got to say that I have to lobby for the one that inspired me and the one that embarrassed me. This one. This is the one I got to go for, right? Right, Nick?
Sure. Will you stop playing it?
No.
All right, everyone. It's called Apocalyptic Currency, written by Mother Trucker. If you're looking for a podcast to inform and entertain.
Yeah. So, dude, that one. Dude, that one has to win, right?
The downside is he's recording, so they can still hear it on the show.
Oh, that's sad. I muted him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess that one should win.
Wait, my window's
I kind
closed.
of like that song, to be honest
He's
with
still
you.
muted.
Okay, you piece of So YouTube couldn't hear any of that, but Nick and I were talking the whole time. It's fine.
Yeah, so I guess that one's going to win because Sean has agreed to never, ever, ever, ever. No. All right, that one doesn't win. I'm going to take your mouse and I'm going to throw it across the room so you can't play it again.
Well, it's wired, so good luck.
I'll cut it off.
I mean, okay, so let me look through some of the other ones from last week. There was...
If I had to vote right now, I would vote for the one that you just played.
I honestly would too.
It's got to be, right? Like Apocalyptic Currency by Mother Trucker, in my opinion, it was... And Jeremy... or actually, I guess I'll read it.
I feel like it's a song for the new generation.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I mean, there were some very good ones. There were some very funny ones, but he was the only one that wrote like poetry. You know,
Yeah.
who made it rhyme.
And just to remind you guys, we'll do it one more time. If you're looking for a podcast to inform and entertain, there's 5 guys here that fit the bill to ease your content pain. You're excited that I'm not singing.
I just want to hear the song. I don't want to hear you read it.
Oh, really?
I was getting ready to punch Sean in the side of the head.
Aaron just said he wants to hear the song.
I want to hear the song.
I'll fly out there and punch Aaron in the side of the head too.
Wow.
It's called Apocalyptic
love to have
Currency,
you.
written by
All
Mother
right.
Trucker.
I bet you would.
Here we go.
Homo.
If you're looking for a podcast to inform and entertain, there's 5 guys here that fit the bill to easy content pain. It's a show called We Like Shooting and another called Double Tap, where the guests are filled with
Harmonize,
knowledge
Nick.
and the hosts are full of crap. There's a fat-ass dude with fetus, born of the Jewish race, and a Reddit reading commie with a goofy thumb-like face. An ogre from Ohio who owns a range and lots of guns.
That's you,
And
Nick.
a Colorado chia pet who always gets the runs. Of course, we can't forget the man that makes this gunship fly. He's so invested in this industry, sometimes it makes him cry. He's the holder of the butt coin, an apocalyptic currency. He's our leader, our cult father. All hail his SSB, SSB. Oh, SSB.
Why are you looking at me? He's just sitting over here staring at me with this creepy ass grin on his face, and I don't like it. It makes me
Not
feel
breaking
really
eye
uncomfortable.
contact at all.
No, I was just staring at him.
He's just staring at the side of my head.
It's like, say something.
My
Okay.
God.
All right, so
if I woke up and you were like standing over me with that look on your face,
it would be with the biggest ever.
we would both die.
I would literally be holding someone else's.
I'd kill you.
I was actually going to go there, but you beat me to it.
I'd kill you, and then I wouldn't be able to live with
All
that
right,
image.
so do we all agree that Mother Trucker wins the Patriot Optic from Swamp Fox Optics?
Yes.
Aaron?
I agree.
Jeremy?
Never heard of her.
Okay. And that makes it a quorum. Ken M., Mother Trucker, you win. Congratulations, buddy. Fantastic little bit of writing there. And it inspired me to embarrass myself almost as much as 171. So anyway, we have that. Let me just make sure that I covered all my notes. Yes, I did. Before we do anything else, I want to thank Diana Muller for coming on the show. Very, very good advocate for the Second Amendment out there. When I think of women that shoot in the industry, when I think of real shooters, when I think of real competitors, when I think of real advocates for the Second Amendment, she is definitely in that list. Absolutely my top 5 of women in the industry. So we thank her very much for being there. You can find more at dcproject.info. And let me page up just to make sure I get this right. She's on DI 3Gun Girl on Facebook, and her website is pro3gunner.com. Thanks to Diana for being on the show. We always appreciate having those strong voices on, and it was an absolute pleasure to speak with her. Let's wrap this up. There's a website you can go to. It's lovewls.com. There is the Rooftop Rewards program where you can share links, and Chris Gill, he is the king of the rooftoppers. We just put out a new shirt today, and boom, instantly ordered. Yep.
Bastard.
Yep. Because he gets stuff for free because he's the king of the rooftoppers. So you can also go out there and earn all kinds of rewards. We have the Patreon program, which is pretty awesome. You get access to the unedited, unbleeped show. You get access to the podcast. Aaron, we still doing that?
Yeah. Usually I'm going to post the podcast once a month.
Oh, once a month? Okay, cool. So
because there's so many in the hopper waiting.
All right. Is that sarcasm?
It's a little bit of that. But then I also thought, with Jeremy's lifestyle, I assume we'll have some after he dies. We'll still have something put out there.
Okay, good. All right, and then you get access to our sponsors, their links, and their coupon codes. And don't forget, hashtag WLS is life. Anything less is treason. But last but not least, you get access to the website there, all at lovewls.com, where you can buy hats like this and shirts like this one, the We Like Shooting with the Colorado flag underneath it. You can get our brand new Trumbull Declaration of Independence painting shirts. Those will be available for about a week, right? 1 week?
Yep.
1 week. Aaron's got a WLS old school shirt on.
Oh, yeah, man. OG. It was made with
old school.
Actually, the one before this one I had to make out of rocks.
Yeah.
And then tablets for God to look at.
Nick has that WLS monogram hoodie on. Booyah. All good stuff, and it's all available. LoveWLS.com. Join a gun-related advocacy group such as the Firearms Policy Coalition, Gunners of America, Second Amendment Foundation, and get local. Get local, get deep, get hard. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do to fight for it. We always give out the suicide prevention line. The number is 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-TALK, or you can text number 741-741. We're here live every week on Monday and Wednesday, except for last week when Windows Update f***ed us all over. And we had to miss Double Tap, but we're going to be back. We're going to be strong this Wednesday night. But you know what? We're on demand every single day. You can just go to welikeshooting.com/show to subscribe. Find us on Facebook. Find us on Instagram. Find us on all the other places. We try to do different content amongst all of them. Like I went live on Instagram earlier. We go live on Facebook for unboxings almost every single day of the week. And it's all out there. Just look for We Like Shooting. You will find us. If you're trying to find us on Facebook, just type We Like, because they don't like the word shooting. So you can't search for us anymore. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Berg.
Wait.
Whoa.
Yeah, type in We Like Shooting into the search box and hit enter.
I mean, I think it works for me.
No.
I search for it all the time.
It literally may not. I don't know. Maybe it does.
Maybe it's because I'm already attached.
I don't know.
We Like Shooting. Maybe it's because you were typing in We Likes Hooting. It pops up for me.
We do like hooting.
All right, it popped up for Nick. I wonder if they maybe fixed it, because I've logged about 4 tickets for it to support. And let's see here. Nope, doesn't come up for me. And we've had several people message us saying that it doesn't come up for them either.
Interesting.
So weird.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. Anyway,
so odd.
You Zuckerberg. Thanks for your. But anyway,
Get
welikeshooting.com/show to subscribe. And as we always say, everybody, thanks for listening. Get some medical training. And
yeet.
God, Aaron, that's not what we say. We say shoot straight. Yeet, yeet. I don't understand. You know what's going to suck?
What's that?
Is that I have lost all ability to turn this down and to fade it out like I normally do.
I thought you were going to say get it
Yeet, yeet. God damn it, Dave. F*** you and your whole internet culture. What should we call this? Should we call this episode Yeet Cannon?
Sure.
As long as if it comes out before the high point.
It will.
There you go.
All right. Yeet Cannon it is. FB page did not come up, but the Patreon page, Book Club, and Watch the We Like Shooting show did. Yep, that's exactly what I see. Real Nick Lunch. And don't forget, go pre-order when it's available. Your very own High Point Gen 2, the YC9. Okay, hold on a second. I'm turning the music back up because I'm not ready to go yet because I have a bone to pick. Did you know that High Point is releasing their same old C9 with Yeet Cannon G1 engraved on the slide, and they're calling it the Yeet Cannon G1?
Yeah, he called me and asked if I wanted socks on it.
I mean, to be fair, like, it goes back to that whole thing, Mark 1. When the original came out, it was just the Mark.
No, it wasn't the Mark.
Well, for the record, I have multiple G1s. It's so crazy. All right, here we go. I'm going to fade out now. No one talk for a second. Fading out. Fading out.
You can.
Did you think that show was worth $1? Help the cast by visiting lovewls.com.